Okay, some of this is familiar. Are you interested in looking at this sitter? This sefer has a Rashash in the back, and I'd like to look at it. I started, like I told you, I'm working on the Rashash now. It's not as frightening as it used to be. I don't know if you're interested, but I think that I would like to look at it some. Be'inyan
Hmm.
of Purim, did you say that was okay? Sometime.
Yeah.
Be'inyan of Purim of an Isboyer Bacha Benusach Brachos of Megillah. V'gam Kavanazim Kavanas of Megillah, and also that. Be'inyan Mordechai ve'Esther v'Mishta v'Simcha Ber Hativ. So he's going to go through all of those things, and I don't really remember too many of them. Here's the first one. The first one says Hine Nusach Brocha Achrona Shelach Megillah. So why he begins with this one? That's the question. So he Chamisha Madbeos Ve'elu Hang. These are they. So what does he mean by Madbeos? He said I think it means like sort of like time beginning types, something like that, templates, something. I don't know. Let's see. Harav is dinenu, v'hadan is dinenu. All of those. So let's see, dinenu. Okay, so I guess we go to right away. We go over to the tiv of Kavana of Purim, and we see like this. He says, "Benusach habracha she'oim dechem achar kriyas Megillah." Yesh chamisha the shonim shel shvach shebechem misarech mecha Yeshua. So this I thought it should be with an iron, but he says it's an olive, so it illuminates a Yeshua she'asach Hashem lonu. V'nekrayim b'lashon harav chamisha matbeos. Shenusach habracha shetiknu chachomim nikra b'lashon chazal and the level matbeya Tuvohu Chachomim that was, I guess, minted by the Chachomim. Bekevin Shuchuk Matbeya Shetovah of the Sakta that he Shetoveo, I don't know exactly how to pronounce it, like a minted coin, Masakna. Because Am Mishtam Shem Betsura Zul Davka Beli Lishnosa, so everybody works with this same surah, this same form. I don't know what he meant. Harav is the Rebbeinu v'Chazan is the Neno v'Chanokim is the Kmaseno v'Chamashalom v'Mo l'chol oivin Hashenu v'Chanifra lana mitzarenu. Bo harav levar tam kafi haloshen lama tikno chacham the buyer b'Ferat hayeshua b'Chamisha chofanim showed him why he's doing it in 5 different kinds of languages. What's he doing over here? Now, 1 second, and let me bring us over to number Aleph, number Bet over here on the Mesoras Agavonos. See how this fits in. According to Pri Eitz Chaim, he's Zechah the Perik Heb and Perik Vav. Mishara Purim. Because of a Rab Shemin Sason, the Shemin Sason gets into this. And he's Zechah a Mesider Harav Sar Shalom Zetzoko. The Zechah Vzel Shonim. Kol elu hakavanos the Purim he bezun hakolonim the klalos hashana. Now those two ideas. First of all, azunako, I guess it means like the general idea of zun. I'm not sure. And then he said the klalos hashana because apparently they're like once again this is a parts of that I'm not familiar with the klalos hashana. V'chein chu b'moadim. Pesach, Shavuos, and Sukkos, Rosh Hashanah, v'Yom Kippurim, Shechvagia Birurim Chadashim Shal Chashana Hahi. So we have new Birurim coming in that year. Lamakom, and so where are they coming? Let me get this here. Lamakom Mahu Sheba'ak. Now this is a little bit, just take it one step more. Shebechagia Birurim Chadashim Shal Chashana Hahu Lamakom Mahu Sheba'ak. So that's where it really starts, I guess. Misora ha'inyan, misora, there here is the word misora, arouses ha'inyan ahu odapam, it begins this up a second time. Now, I'm not sure where the first time was. Ella she'edo b'poil lefi she'edo ella misora, there's a kedusha because it doesn't actually act. It's an arousal. Shehis orer neged ha'kali, that is aroused to confront the Kali, l'hachnia kedei shelo tishlot od. So I guess that's why we came over to these Nun Vavs, these 56s. The bracha kedusha b'pam rishona. When you first made the bracha, mizgaver atach b'kol pam l'hachnia kali. So something is missing for me. He said that when he said that Hakadusha b'pam rishona. So what's the first time? I'm not sure what he means. So we'll read on and try to figure it out. Misgaver ata b'kol pam l'hachnia kali. That's what it's doing. B'kol zecha b'barach me'amatzel v'chasadim ha'b'shutim. V'kabuvur kol zecha b'dibur harizal v'lamad zilcho hagovi. So, excuse me, v'talmido. Okay, so just a little bit of new idea there. We are on number bet. So when you read number bet, so this is for our 5 Gevuros. Al Yedechem Yariv as Rebena V'yadin as Dinenu Lashon Din Ki Bechem Tolui Hadin V'Hanekoma. So we need a little explanation. So comes along now the Tiv, and he says Amavir Harav Shachamisha L'Shonos Elu Ramazim Al Inyan Din. This din Hadin V'Hanekoma She'osach Hashem Yisbarach B'Sonov. The Hein Chamisha, the Shona Keneged Chamisha Gevurah. So this is the 5 Gevurah. Romas Gan B'Lashon HaBracha Atzma Shakal Lashon Mehachamisha the Shona Mistayim with the letters Nun and Vav. Is a Rav as Rebbeinu Chadan is the Dana, and he starts going through it again. V'Hashem and V'Cheshbon Chamisha Pamim. So when you add up 5 times 56, you get to the number Resh Pei, 280. 280 Chamaromas al Paradinim Sheyesh Benuk, Shehu Gematria B'Shecha Mansepach, which is really that Gematria. There's those 5 letters. Shehem Chamesha Osis Kafulos, these are the Sophite letters. Haramazim al Chamesh Gevurah. So it's interesting that these are the switches. First of all, in a regular language, you don't need to switch to the what he calls them. He says the Shehu Mansabach Shehem Chamisha Osis Kafulos. He calls them Kafulos. In regular language, you don't need to do this, but in Hebrew, at the end of words, that's what he does. So there's some connection between the ends of the words and these letters. V'kol os me he osis a kafulus elu romez al gevura achas. Each one of them is a separate gevura. Mechamesh gevuras. V'kol ner romez al achas mecha gevuras anal. V'al gevuras chaladim is orderim asos the kam of din begoyim, and that's really what's happening as we are saying that these 56s. Let's come over, and as long as I'm doing this, so we'll see this is what I did. Okay, and we're going to be down at the Shefa Kavanas, Vahim Kenega Hamisha Gavuros, Anodaos, and let's go to the light print. Bebir Inyan Chanu, Ayin Drush V'Yehi Noram Tiv Os Kuf Lamed Gimel. So he says what? V'Shefa Sham, V'Shofei Sham, Masha Be'arno, over there, it brings out what we're explaining. For the Rosh Hashanah, so he also says that cause of the V'Zel Shana V'Hinach B'Tzarek Sheteda. Ki B'Kol Macham Shenimsecha B'Teir Shtei Os, these 2 letters, Nun and Vav, Gematria 56. B'Sofa table, and it comes when it comes at the end once again of the word. I could go Elokenos, for example, that. We see this all Avoseno, so we see this a lot. And he said, "V'kiyotze bezecha b'kulam heim b'bechinas gevuros. V'nizker be'inyan pasa v'yehi noam she'omrim b'motzoi Shabbat. V'chatam l'fisha kol gevuros nechlalos b'chamesh gevuros, that every gevur itself has 5 within it. She'em osius mansepach, and each one of them and they are the letters of the Osios Kefulos. Ha'olim begematria par. V'im techalkem lehecholokim, divide them into 5. Shehem chamesh gevuras, yihya kol chelik mehem is going to be a Nun Vav. Ki chamesh pamim nu, hem gematria mansepach. V'lechein kol makom shenimser be'ozios nu b'sof tevach, v'chein dena v'gevuras ad gan l'shama. So here we go into that. V'ayin sham od b'vir ha'inyan v'hine, b'derush v'hi noam, and that rush, kosev v'rav sham mansachap b'hakim hein banuk. What is, they go into the nuk v'tzarach imen shebe'etz chaim in shar rapach. What does he say? Kosech and Rebbeinu amnam hey Gevurah's mansapach, represented by those letters. Hey bechinas Gevurah's hazachar atzma. These are the Gevurahs of the male side. So he has Gevurahs within him. Sha'achar kach noisne malach, and then after that he gives them to her. V'tzarach imen be'etz chaim shar drashi on salam. He says, "Meman debina, memayim nukva debina shehem mansaba kanoidus." I'm not sure what this means. So he says, pam kosev shemansachal chen mizer anpin. Sometimes it writes that. Oh, pam kosev shehem benuk, from the nuk. Upam kosev shehem meima b'tzarach ion. So why is it that we have this mansapach? I would think that it's the progression of the mansapach coming from Bina into the Nuk. That's what I would have thought. So od sarak ladas shad sarak lakaveni mansapach osias a peshutos shehem, and he shows you these letters. And here he calls them the peshutos, which they're longer. I don't know exactly what peshutos means. Shehem b'bechina chasadim begevuras lefi shehem biyad yomim o shehem mansapach shehem b'bechina gevuras the gevuros shehem biyad small. Just one more look at this phrase. He says, what's the confusion with this word mansapach? Or what is going on with it? First of all, he says it could be ima, it could be zeranpin, it could be the nuk. And then he says shehem bechinas chasadim de gevuros. I misread it a little bit. They're the chasadim and the gevuros, and I'm not sure where he has chasadim in the word gevuros. And both of these are in plural. So he says chasadim gevuros lefi shehem biyad yomim o shehem mansapach shehem bechinas gevuros the gevuros. So it could be either the chasadim and the gevuros. So let's say there's 5 gevuros. I'm not sure what he's saying. There's a 5 inside of a 5. So therefore, there's a chesed inside of it, or in each one of them, there's going to be a 5, something like that. Shehem bechinas gevuros, the gevuros. Shehem biyad small v'tzarach iyon. That's a whole subject over there. V'siddur Rashash siddur kach v'tachida na'avich aloshan l'rav v'pri eitz chaim. So first say we'll bring that. He said Chaim Shar Purim Perik Vav. He said b'zezechav yuven siddur hakavanos v'zel l'shona. This is a quote from what he says over there. He says v'bechira of a bracha achrona, but b'sichach b'chasa, when you begin it. Sarak l'kaven kala osius achud shva, with a nuk, get it out, with a nuk menaked with a shva. Shehu nikud gevurah, which is the nikud that goes along with the gevurah. The Ramesh shechu gevurah nehafchal azro seinu, that the gevurah, which can be, what we say, dangerous or punishing, it switches over to help us. So we see this in other places in Eric Anpin. If we talk about the gevurah of Eric Anpin, it goes, I believe it's there to beat back the Kali. V'lechein bebrachos yesh hey kafulos. There are going to be 5 double letters. Neged hey gevuras mansapach. Ki harav Rebbeinu romas the gevuras abba. V'chadan dinenu the gevuras ima. V'chanuk v'chanoke nikmasena asecha the gevurah deza. V'chapara lanacha mitzarenu. V'chanifra lana mitzareda v'chamshalom gevul gemul the gevurah is Leah v'Rachel v'chimasa yekavin the Rachel, and at the end you have thinking about Rachel. B'chavavaya b'nikud Elokim, and you change the nikud to the nikud of Elokim over there. Besod Kos Yeshuas Esa, where the secret of the cup of salvation I will lift up. V'Hashem Olin Tekifim, the Sachrin, the Sachrin, the Shona. These are the tough, I guess he means, leaves that surround the rose. Now, there's more to be said about that metaphor. Then he said, Baruch Atah, so you say that, Hashem Elokeinu. He says, so he said, Nikud Gevurah, the Rabbas, Shechar Gevurah, the Hafcha Azraseinu, is to tell us that this Gevurah is going to come over and help us. So he says a Nikud Gevurah. So I'm looking for the Nikud Gevurah here. I don't see the Nikud Gevurah, so I'm trying to understand what he's saying. Harav is as Ribenu, and that is the Mem of the Matzapah. Gevurah the Abba, Varadan is the Neno, so he shows it to us. He says that's the Nun Sofit, the Gevurah the Ima. Varanokim as Nikbaseno, so I guess you could say Ima could be a 50. You could look at it a different way, 50 Sharim. Varanokim as the Nikmenu, which is the Tzadi. Gevurah is the Zah. Vamashana Gevul L'chol Oivein Hashenu, Gevurah is the Leah. And the last one, Vanifra Mitzarenu, is the Kaf Sofit. He said Gevurah is the Rachel. Then he says the Brachot, Baruch Atah Hashem Elokeinu, Nifra Lono Yisrael B'Kol Sarenu Ho'el HaMoshiach. And apparently that is the shiur for today.